Hello friends, Ashley Murphy here with Crazy Brave Homeschool. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm a homeschool mom to a rising third grader and rising kindergartner. And today we are going to talk all about my rising third graders, language arts and math picks for the 25-26 school year. Crazy. Oh, my kitty's here. You guys want to say hi to Ellie? She's the prettiest. And my dog. You're pretty too. She's the prettiest black kitty ever. All right, so I'm really excited to be posting this video. I have been in deep thought about where our homeschool is going next year. I did post some potential picks for my daughter, my rising third graders, language arts and math picks, just like a month or so back. And I felt like so set, so excited. And we haven't made a lot of changes, but I have made a couple. And if you saw my last video, those decisions were kind of geared around my problems with Ambleside Online not being like multicultural enough for our homeschool, not bringing in like enough historical voices or artistic voices or enough, different voices in literature. So we were really going to stick more to Ambleside Online and Under the Home for our curriculum choices next year. And while a good handful of those have stayed the same, I have made some changes. So I'm excited to announce one of the big changes when I shoot our family subject video, but I won't be announcing that change until we get there. So I'm going to try to keep this video straight to the point, not get so chatty. But my daughter she's going into third grade, but she's probably more at the reading level of maybe early second grader right now. We've taken our time and she's really coming along, but yeah, it's been moving a little slowly. I'm not nearly as alarmed or frustrated as I was, so that's great. But we are definitely going to have to still be doing some phonics practice next year. And I have decided to not bring in a phonics program necessarily. You'll see what I mean. Right now we're using Foundational Phonics Book 2, and we'll finish that this year. And if you are familiar with our style of language arts, for a while now I've been using the McGuffey reader. And we were using the companion McGuffey companion notebook from Land of Kakiak with the McGuffey reader. We did this for a while, and we really did this to encompass all of our language arts in terms of narration and dictation and spelling and some grammar and copy work, and then some phonics practice from the reader. That was going really well, but then my daughter did need more phonics practice, so we brought in Foundational Phonics Book 2. So I'm just kind of giving you a recap of where we're at. We'll finish Book 2 this year. My plan for next year was to go back to the tried and true method. I really liked how just whole and cohesive this method is, but we just decided that because of the choices I've made for language arts next year, I don't need the McGuffey for all of those pieces that I was using it for. I am hitting all of those pieces through a couple other programs that I really want to use. And so it just doesn't make a ton of sense. Plus the McGuffey is not very heavy on phonics. So it's not like she's getting a ton of phonics practice with this. It is a nice little reader, and we may just continue to use it as that. I'm planning on getting some readers from The Good and the Beautiful. We've enjoyed some of those, and the bookshop has a lot of choices, and they also have a lot of secular choices. So I'm considering just getting Good and the Beautiful readers. My daughter may even pretty soon be on to reading little chapter books from the American Girl series. If none of those other readers work out, I will go back to this as a reader because I think that these are great. I would prefer that she be using readers that are definitely more diverse in their graphics. This is very colonial, and that is something that I like about The Good and the Beautiful, is that they are really diverse with their with all their different books. Oh, I'll tell you what we are going to do for phonics. We're not getting a big program. Explode the Code is a program that I have not taken that seriously in our homeschool. It's just like, hey, if we're getting a little burned out, let's do this for a day or so, just to kind of take a little break. So we're like not even halfway through level 2. This is well below her level, but she does like Explode the Code, and it is a great little phonics program. And it's also really great for spelling. So my plan is just for more phonics practice for her. We are going to be using probably book 4 is what I'll get for next year. That'll be more at her level. And, you know, if we have to do a couple pages out of this a day, then I think that that'd be great. Maybe we won't even need it that often. I do have a spelling plan, and I've decided to use Foundational Phonics Book 2 after we are done with it for the phonics practice, to go back through potentially the whole program just for spelling, because this program is so great for that. I'll show you. Okay, so like, because you know, the whole program, it's all phonics based, and so it's obviously doing a lot of like consonant blends and vowel teams and, you know, all of that. It's all blending. So this is just, would be great to use for spelling lists. So say this week we're working on spelling the consonant team BL and all of those words. So I can just go through, she can study this list. I love that these pages are not overwhelming. It's like, this program has been so great for us because my daughter has been so frustrated learning to read with every program we've chosen. And this is the first one that's just been like the sweet spot. So I'm really excited to go back with this and use this as a spelling program. And I've seen some YouTube videos of mamas who are doing that with this book, and it's working really beautifully. So between Explode the Code and Foundational Phonics, this will be definitely good enough for spelling, and I'm hoping this will be good enough for phonics. I am going to keep our Alpha Phonics flashcards around. I love these. I always talk about these. They're so great because they give you just every rule having to do with that consonant team or that letter or sound on the back. It gives you the exceptions to the rule because, as we know, there are many. So yeah, I just love these cards so much. So we will definitely review little blends that she's having a hard time remembering. I am also going to keep the companion notebook around. So this is just like, it comes to you as a PDF. I'll probably print off a new cover. I'm not going to associate it with the McGuffies. I'm just going to use this for spelling. I'm going to use it for history narration. And I'm going to use it for the miscellaneous copy work that's in our grammar program that I'll show you. But I love how customizable this is. It's pretty much blank, but it has a sheet for copy work. It has another sheet for dictation. The colors of the lines are a little bit different, you know, for each category. And then it has another sheet for narration with a little space to draw if you want. My daughter is not so into that. And then it has spelling, like a spelling sheet. So this could be for like new vocabulary words, or it could be for spelling lists or spelling test. That's really great. And then it has, is that it? Oh yeah, it has 2 pages. So it's basically broken up into like lessons if you wanted to use it for one of your curricula that, you know, requires the child to like write a lot. These books are so great for that. They're so customizable. So I know that we're almost done with this one. I need to print off more pages. So we'll definitely be continuing with these. Okay, hope you're sticking with me because I have a really exciting addition to our language arts that I'm really excited to tell you about. So for our grammar, we're sticking with first language lessons. I love this program. This is book 2. We are on level 1, and we'll finish by the end of this year. And then we'll be on to this one next year. This one is a little bit fatter, and it doesn't come with a workbook, but I do know based on the first level that they do require some writing. And so that's where like having this will come in handy. But yeah, I just think first language lessons is really great. My daughter is an auditory learner, so having these really short discussions about parts of speech, among other things like the seasons and abbreviating words and writing your initials. Like, it just covers so much. And the lessons are really short, and and there's a lot of memorization in here. It's a classical inspired curriculum. And so this has been really great for us. Okay, for handwriting. So my daughter has been using The Good and the Beautiful level 2, and that's a great program. I really like it. Like I said, she's not such a fan of writing. So I kind of thought it might be nice to break up the program that we use next year and continue with our Alpha Phonics cursive. So this is a free PDF. Where did I print this off? It's Blumenfeld's Alpha Phonics cursive handwriting program. If you guys want the link for this, I'll find it. Just let me know in the description. I know I've linked this before. So this is nothing new on my channel, but I just like it because it's just really simple. And also the lessons are literally handwritten. I'll show you. So like lesson 1 is just doing the A, and it tells you like the curves of how, like down curve, under curve, slant, under curve. And then the child does some A's, and then they connect some A's. And then the next lesson is M and connecting the M's. And then the next lesson is AM and, writing, connecting, AN or AM and so on. And there are 63 lessons in here. I think we have only gotten to maybe not even 10. But I put down the cursive for a little while because she really needed to work on her print with The Good and the Beautiful. So her print is going well. I think that by next year we'll be ready for a cursive program. And I may find that she wants to write, she would rather write in cursive anyway. I kind of have a feeling that she's going to want to. So I'm excited to bring this in for her. And yeah, that's our handwriting. All right, so I am going to lump poetry into our language arts because there is a lot of language arts in this program. So I got the poetry program from Under the Home. I have made one big change with this. If you saw my language arts reveal video a little while back, you'll see there were 3 fat manuscripts that come with this 1 year of poetry program from Under the Home. It covers 9 poets. This is our first year really getting into poetry. We've been doing poetry all year, but nothing this serious or rigorous. And so I decided, I feel like we have way too much beauty going on in our subjects this year. And I'll tell you a little bit more once we hit our family subjects, some other changes I made to like pare down our schedule and make it more feasible. I am only going to do 1 out of the 3 books that I printed off. I split the program into 3 terms, thinking we would do 1 every term and 3 poets every term, right? So anyway, we're only going to do 3 poets for the whole year, which just like feels so much better. And then that way we can really take our time with this and stretch it across the year if we want, or I will just do poetry for 1 term and then cut it for the rest of the year. And I think my kids will appreciate that because as much as I love poetry, I don't know that they're going to be like wild for this program. So the reason I'm lumping this into language arts is because the workbook, and it is a workbook. This is not just reading poetry and like having a little discussion. Let's say for Emily Dickinson, you get a whole poet overview in the first lesson. You read one of her poems. If you want, you can even map the poet where they're from. You would go over the synopsis of the poem. There are some enrichment activities like study a poem picture, discuss what the poem was about, like in this case, introversion and extroversion. There's a whole vocabulary section here, big vocabulary section. Okay, and then you're getting into narrating the poem, copywork this excerpt from the poem, narrate the excerpt, wow, and then dictate the excerpt. So I actually, oh my gosh, and then there's a narration page for Oh, just drawing the poem. Draw how you felt. I really like this because poems are obviously very visual for the most part, right? And so I do like this. My daughter isn't so into drawing on command, but I wonder if something like a poem will spark some creativity in that area. I like it. Okay, and then it goes on to lesson 2. So that was like 6 or 7 pages of just one lesson. So like, holy cow, we could really stretch that over the whole year, doing that with 3 different poets. Or like I said, we just do it during one term and then we're like, oh my goodness, okay, break from poetry, right? Okay, so like this is part of the reason why I'm not going to be doing the normal McGuffey lessons with like the narration and dictation and all of that, because like we have it covered in here for sure, at least for a term anyway. Okay, real quick, I'm just going to hit this Usborne creative writing book. We haven't really done any creative writing because my daughter's still learning to read and she's still learning to write. But this is really cute. I have a plan to actually start this in May and just have her do 1 page a week. So we'll cover maybe just a few pages before the end of the school year. And it's really simple. So like 1 page, the first page is just like your name and age and your hair color and 3 words that describe you and something unusual about me and who my best friends are, things like that. I think she can definitely handle that. And then there's like creating a character questionnaire. What do they look like? What's their personality? What's their greatest problem? What are they really good at? Things like that. So I'm just trying to get her to start writing a little bit more. This is super gentle. And we'll just throw this in our morning basket and for a few weeks and see how it goes. And then if it goes well, my plan is to bring it back next year and to do more of it. Okay, so another pretty big addition to our language arts program that I'm really excited to be bringing in after just like trying to watch as many reviews as I can on it. There's not a lot out there on it, but I have seen some very telling reviews, is Write by Number. This is a writing curriculum that really teaches all of like the principles and structure of writing from as early as 1st grade all the way through senior year of high school. So it has 12 levels within the program, which definitely reflects its price. This is a very expensive program. I think it's like it depends on the binding that you get. You can get a soft cover or you can get like the spiral wire binding with like the hard, a hard cover, kind of hard to explain. It's like a hidden binding. But anyway, I opted for the nicer one that was like $370, I think. We do have charter school funding for our homeschool, so that makes it possible for us. And I just love that like I could potentially use this program throughout the rest of their schooling, which I know it's like sounds too good to be true because as homeschoolers we love changing curriculum. But anyway, fingers crossed that ends up happening. I chose Write by Number and I need to dig into the program. I haven't gotten it yet. It's going to take a while for me to like really figure it out. But what I'm learning about it and why I think it's a really good choice for us is that, first of all, it starts off very gentle. So I think the first lesson or the first unit is really just about properly writing a sentence, with punctuation and, all that. So it starts off really simple. And then from there, obviously, it gradually gets more complicated into, I think, ultimately writing, like obviously multi-paragraph essays and things like that. So I like that. I like that I can start it at wherever we need to start. And then kind of based on where my kids are at, we could potentially jump forward, without ever having to buy another curriculum. The other thing I like about this program is that it doesn't have a bunch of, I don't think anyway, doesn't have a bunch of writing assignments in it. From what I'm gathering, the program is really something that you can use alongside your other curriculum that you might need to write about. So for a Charlotte Mason inspired homeschool that like we are, this is really great because let's say that, we're learning about ancient Egypt in our history and like specifically Cleopatra, and I want my daughter to write me a sentence or 2 sentences or a brief narration about Cleopatra. She can take the principles that she has learned from whatever lesson she's on with Write by Number and use that, in her narration. I really love that. I love that the program doesn't have a lot of extra, like, you know, just like all of these prompts. And I'm not knocking that. We do have our little creative writing book that I kind of want to use. We have some other creative writing planned in the other thing I'm going to tell you about. But anyway, I just love that I can take the principles that she's learning and apply them to what we're doing in our homeschool. I really like that. I like when things just feel very like cohesive and like holistic, I guess. Yeah, so it's obviously very early. Oh my gosh, I don't even have it yet, but I will be giving a detailed flip through of that program once I kind of collect my bearings about it. Okay, I am ready to reveal the big change we made to our language arts program. I am so excited to be bringing in, drum roll please, Blossom and Root Level 3, Language Arts, Curiosity and Courage. Okay, so this may not be like much of a surprise because some of you might be like, wait, I thought that like you were sort of gonna do this anyway. And it's true. I had decided because Ambleside Online, their literature, while a lot of it's so great, you know, a lot of classic books, it just was lacking that diversity and also modern literature that I want to, you know, keep bringing into our homeschool. So I decided to get the book list from Level 3. But you guys, I tell you, I have been revisiting the Blossom and Root Language Arts website probably like once a day. I'll go and be like, well, but what are like the creative extension projects with these books? And like, what does the wordplay look like? And like, oh, is my daughter actually at the reading level where she could like be using the wordplay part of Blossom and Root Language Arts? And like, what does the student workbook look like? And I just like can't stop visiting it. And honestly, once I really started to realize that Ambleside was just not for us in terms of a lot of the book selections and the rigor that is their schedule and the history stream that we've decided not to follow. I'll talk about more of that in another video. I started to realize once I started cutting out a lot of the Ambleside subjects and books, I made more room to bring in the entire language arts program from Blossom and Root. I'm really, and once I started cutting out 2/3 of the poetry and 2/3 of some other things that I'm going to reveal in another video, it just opened up a lot of room. So this way I have all the books, I can do the whole program, we can do all the narrations, the journal prompts, the creative extension projects that deal more with like writing and creative writing, and everything else that's a part of this program. Now I have room to do it. And I was really pleased to see on the Level 3 word lists with this program that my daughter's right there. Like these are definitely phonics rules and words that I can actually do with her now, which is really great. When I got Level 3 Blossom and Root, when I got Level 1 Blossom and Root Language Arts, which we loved, she wasn't at a reading level to like do any of that extra stuff. She couldn't do the mini poems or any of the wordplay yet. So it's just really cool to be able to use the whole program. I'm excited. So let me just show you real quick the books that are paired with that program. And then I'll show you, I'm gonna end on some free reads that we're gonna hopefully get to. Okay, so first I'll just mention, there are 3 books in the Blossom and Root Level 3 that we've already read. The Secret Garden, Roni the Robber's Daughter, and I'm forgetting the other one. So I'm putting in 3 books that I really wanted to do from the Ambleside book list. So the first one is Understood Betsy. We are gonna squeeze this in to the Blossom and Root rotation. A Little Princess, really excited about this one. We're gonna squeeze this one in. Little Women, we are going to do this as a December Christmassy school unit where I'm getting the Hearth Magic Literature Guide. I am only getting one Hearth Magic novel guide this year, or next year. This year, I think I got 4. Last year, I got at least 2. And so it's just time to like simplify our homeschool, and I'm only getting 1 next year. And then the last book from the Ambleside list that I'm thinking about bringing in is Robin Hood. I have heard that this is really a stretch. My son probably won't be involved with that at all. He's only going to be 6, and then my daughter will be 8. So I'm really not sure if we're going to do it or not. Robin Hood might wait another year. From the Blossom and Root Language Arts book list, we have Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I was sent the wrong one. This is an adapted one, so I need to get to the original still. My Side of the Mountain, which we are actually pairing this with a Harbor and Sprout survival, like outdoor survival guide. I don't know what month that's going to be, but that'll be exciting to pair that with that. Some of these I don't know a whole lot about. Crenshaw, The Mighty Miss Malone. This one's missing a book jacket. Wonder. El Defo. And then I still have to get the Phantom Toll House booth from the Blossom and Root list. And then I did pull a few other free reads from the Ambleside free read list. Brighty of the Grand Canyon. The Door in the Wall. Along Came a Dog. Little House on the Prairie. I also have Farmer Boy coming. And I think that those are all of the books. I might have some other ones coming, but I'll do an update video if we decide to add on to this. This is going to be a lot. I'm definitely not. Here's Woody. Woody cut all of his hair off.
Mommy.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to end this video on math picks because that's super short and not incredibly exciting because nothing for math changes with us very often. We are sticking with Right Start. This isn't different from what I showed in my other potential picks video. This is level C. Right now we are almost done with level B. We'll be done maybe a couple weeks before the end of school. So we'll pick up C and then we're gonna do a couple lessons of this summer every week just to kind of get a little bit further along in this program. We're not behind. I mean, I definitely don't think that we're behind, although I know that there are some families that regard level A as kindergarten, level B as first grade, level C as second grade, and so on. I started Poppy on level A in first grade, and yeah, the levels are sort of interesting with Right Start because at the end of her first grade year, she tested into third grade math. And that was confusing to me because it was level A. And then after the summer, we did a little bit of summer school. At the beginning of second grade, she tested into like between second and third grade math. And since then, we've been doing level B. So it'll be interesting to see where she tests at the end of second grade. That test is coming up in May with our charter school. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think that this is a phenomenal program. Like her math is so strong. I think that she's kind of naturally inclined towards math. But I do know that some of the math concepts in level B are taught in the third grade. And then with level C, there's a ton of review in this. And then this gets more into subtraction. So we have not spent a ton of time in subtraction, which I know definitely is taught in the second grade. I'm hoping that she won't like be too far behind in that. But anyway, once we get to this, we're going to be able to skip through the first 20 lessons of review because it's just way too simple. And then hopefully, maybe even around halfway through third grade, we will be on to level D. But I really don't care. Her math is really strong. I don't think that these are grade level. I think that these are just levels. But anyway, Right Start is just awesome. I love this program so much. The only other thing we're adding to math, or we have been doing, is musical multiplication from The Good and the Beautiful. We did book A, and there are 4 books in the series that just has these the equations with like these little pictures that make sense for the number you're multiplying, and then you download the music to your phone or iPad or whatever. And it's been really enjoyable. My daughter has not learned multiplication yet, but she's learned a lot of facts through these songs. So she knows 3 times 3, 3 times 4, 6 times 4, 9 times 9, 8 times 8, I don't know, 5 times 3, 5 times 5, like all of those like more simple ones. With book A, she knows all of those facts now just through the songs and without ever learning. So there's no number sense with these, which, you know, I don't totally love, but at the same time, it will make her learning multiplication easier after memorizing the facts. So anyway, I'm sticking with it. I like it. Okay, that's it. Language arts, oh my gosh, it's always so much. But I feel really good about our plan. I just feel like I'm so happy to be coming home to Blossom and Root again. I wish that we had done level 2 and not done so many of these like literature guides. And I mean, I'm happy that I was able to figure out like how to craft the McGuffey into something that worked for us. I mean, I will say that the McGuffey primer, I honestly like owe credit to teaching my daughter how to read. I think it was more so just like the nighttime readings that we would do with that got her further along in reading than say our reading lessons, you know, during school. So I'm very grateful to them. I don't necessarily have plans to continue with them, but I definitely will if I find that we really just need like a good reader. Anyway, okay, I'll stop rambling. Thanks, you guys. Would love to know what you think in the comments, and I will see you soon. Bye.